Good morning, brothers and sisters. I don't have anybody here. My English class is not here yet. I'm not sure what is happening, but we have to start with the class today. I'm continuing with Greek nouns. Last week, what is going on? I see some notification. Okay, we're continuing with our class. I'm continuing with Greek nouns. Just to refresh your memory, Professor Pierre Jordan did some work while I was away. But just to refresh your memory, you dealt, lesson 1 dealt with the alphabets and the vowels and diphthongs. And study unit 2A and study unit 2B, according to your study guide, we dealt with the English and the Afrikaans, not the Greek, Afrikaans, English, Afrikaans, and Greek syntax. And then lesson 2, we dealt with the features of Greek verbs. I think that's where we introduced to you the present indicative active and the present infinitive active, and that is basically what you did last week. Please remember all those conjugations. How do you conjugate a Greek verb? I'm just welcoming some few students in my class, the contact students, but we continue with the class, just refreshing your memory of what you have done already. I have introduced to you the alphabets, vowels, and diphthongs, and also that study unit 2A and 2B, the English, Afrikaans, and Greek syntax. And last week, that other week, you dealt with the features of the Greek verbs, I think. All the luo, lueis, luei, luete, luomen. And then you introduced lesson 2 or lesson 3, the Greek nouns of the first declension. I guess you did that. The feminine nouns. Did you do that? Yeah. Yes. Feminine nouns, the Greek, the first declension. And then today we are doing Greek nouns of the second declension. That is the masculine nouns. And that is actually lesson 3 or lesson 4, sorry. Lesson 4 of Croy, that's where you are. Okay, good. So I'm just taking the stick and run the race. There's no time to waste. I will get back to some few things. I'm sorry, my PowerPoint presentation is repeating. Some study outcomes, page 15 of your study guide. This is what I want you to, that's what we want to achieve at the end of this class, to recognize and recite in the paradigms the nouns of the first declension or the second declension. That's what we are doing today. And then recognize, parse, and explain Greek nouns. We are focusing on the nouns of the second declension. Identify and explain the definite article. This is what you did in the previous class. I'm still emphasizing that. The content of today's work, I'm again repeating what you have done last week. The declension, what is a declension? You must be able to define a declension and explain to me what the declension is. Characteristics of Greek nouns, also the forms of the second declension, and then the definite article. This is basically the work we are going to cover today. Pretty much the same as last week's work. But then, last week you focused on the nouns of the first declension. Today we're focusing on the nouns of the second declension. That's what we'll be doing. Right? What is a declension? I want to hear from you, because this is not the first time you hear about this.
Changing form of
The change in forms.
changing form, especially at the end of the word.
The inflectional changes. So the noun changes the form where at the end, what we will call in English a suffix changes, okay? They change in the form of the suffix. A declension is a group of nouns, can be pronouns, can be adjectives, okay? That have a similar inflectional forms. Similar inflectional forms. That is just a technical word of saying similar endings. Okay? Similar endings or the forms. The ending forms of, inflectional forms to show their function in the sentence. In other words, a particular ending tells you that this noun is functioning as a subject, or this noun is functioning as a synonym, an object, or direct object, or a genitive, or a dative, or accusative. Okay. So a declension is that group. We group them together. These ones looks the same. We put them here. These ones looks the same. We group them here. And this one have the same inflectional forms. We group them here. And we begin to know them as declensions. Okay? And then that's where you have the first declension. That is the first group. This one looks the same. This one looks the same. We call them the second declension. And this one looks the same. They look the same. We call them the third declension. Okay? So those inflectional forms are very important. There are three declensions in Greek. I have said that already. Our focus today is on the masculine forms, masculine and the neuter nouns. That is, nouns of the second declension. Are we there? Last week you did nouns of the first declension, the feminine. And then the neuter, the masculine forms, they have an ending in os. And then the neuter have their ending in on. Okay? In the feminine case, you had the so-called pure alpha and the pure eta, and sometimes they tend to mix the alpha and the eta. We call them the mix. Okay? So those are the nouns of the first declension. But then the nouns of the second declension, they are mostly masculine and neuter, with the os and the on ending. You look at page 19, there are good examples there. You have the word, the noun logos. Look at the ending, the os ending. You have the word adelphos. You have the word theos. I'm looking now in the vocabulary, list of vocabulary, the adelphos, anthropos, doulos, thanatos, theos meaning God, thanatos meaning death, kurios meaning the Lord, Lord, logos, nomos, oikos, oranos, hios, all those are masculine nouns. And look at the neuter nouns. The few neuter nouns that we have, ergon, meaning work. Okay? Look at that on ending. And then you have teknon, meaning a child. A child is, in Greek, is neither masculine or male or female. It's a it. Yeah, it's teknon, a child, it. It's a neuter. Okay? Good. And then you also have, ergon and teknon, those are the only two that we have. Please, everybody out there, we are looking at page 9 of Croy, page 18 and 19 of Croy. I'm talking about that vocabulary in lesson 4, and also the declensions, the declensions in page 19. How do we decline a Greek noun? So we are busy with the masculine and the neuter nouns. Okay? The os masculine endings and then the on neuter endings. Right? Most of today's class is just the repetition of what you had last week, but then switch your focus now to masculine and neuter nouns. Okay. Greek nouns have three characteristics. Can you tell me those characteristics? No. 3 characteristics of Greek nouns. You did this last week. The 3 characteristics of Greek nouns. Someone out there, can you help us? Mafikeng, if you are there, White River or whoever. The 3 characteristics of Greek nouns. I know last week's lesson covered this. That's why I'm asking a question, and it's a very, very fair question. Case number and gender. Those are very, very important. Don't make a mistake and forget them. We need to know those. So when we talk about the 3 characteristics of Greek nouns, we talk about case, number, and gender. In terms of gender, we're talking masculine, feminine, and neuter. Okay? In terms of number, we're talking singular or plural. Enkelvoud of meervoud in Afrikaans. And then when we talk about case, we have 5 cases. And that's where you can start talking about your nominative, genitive, dative, vocative, and so forth. Accusative also. 5 Greek cases. Nominative, it shows and point out what? The subject of the sentence. I'm just running through what you did last week. And then the genitive will describe another noun in 3 ways. The genitive will describe another noun in 3 ways. And this is where I begin. I always emphasize these 3 as the main functions of the genitive. What are they? What are those? In 3 ways. The genitive describes another noun in 3 ways. What are they? What are they?
Objective.
No. No. I need you to be sharp in knowing these things. Okay, good. We'll come back to that. But then the genitive, this is the phrase where you will always say of something. God of heaven. The book of me. The sister of. The son of God. Okay? That of. It tells you I am a genitive. And then in that case, it describes a noun in 3 ways. And these are the 3 ways. It's a source, relation, and possession. Source, relation, and possession. I want to give you 3 examples. If we say Jesus, the Son of God, Jesus is described by the phrase of God. How do you come to know Jesus? You won't know him, you won't know much about him unless you start with that of God. It all starts with God. How is he related to God? If we say Jesus, the Son of God, how is he related? He is the Son. We're talking father and son relationship. And so that is the one aspect. The genitive describes another noun in 3 ways. One is relation. If you say, Brenda is the sister of me, how are you related to Brenda? You are a brother and sister. So Brenda is the sister of me. That's relation. Okay? Number 2, when you talk about the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of God, for you to understand the Spirit, you must start with God. How are they related? Is it a relation? No. It's a source. This is the Spirit that comes from God. It originates, or he originates from who? From God. God sent him as a paraclete, as a comforter. He is related to God in terms of origin. He originates from who? From God. And it's very, very important for you to know that, because then there is yet another spirit who originates from the devil. Maybe it's a demon or something else. But he has his origin from the devil. The spirit of the devil. The spirit of God. the spirit of this and that. So the source is very clear there. We talked relation, we talked source, and now possession. This is the book of me. I possess it. It's my book. I bought it. I own it. Okay? The word. I wanted to give an example. Or the word that comes from God, it originates from God, but then God possesses it, is His word. Okay? But then maybe my book is a good example. Okay? Because I own it. My car. All right? My wife, like you own her. She belongs to you. Do you possess her? Or she possesses you? You possess her? Is that so? No, that's why as an African man you start behaving like a boss and you're beating her around because you possess her. That's not a good example. Okay, good. So my book or your book or my car and all that, your wife is not your property. Okay? You own a property, you don't own her. You belong together, you complement one another. All right, she's your helper, you are a helper. Fine. Now that's what the genitive is all about. It describes another noun in terms of source, relation, and possession. Okay? The other one, dative, indirect object, an advantage. I kick the ball or I cook food for my children. That is to and for. The genitive will always say of. Okay? The dative will always say to someone. I kick the ball to. I do this for. Okay? Always giving an advantage to someone. So that's what the dative is all about. Come on. The accusative, direct object. If you kick the ball feels it. The ball feels the pain. Okay? John kicks the ball to James. To James is a dative, all right? But then the ball kicks. Okay, it's your verb. John kicks the ball. Now we're talking about accusative, the direct object, okay? John kicks the ball of me to James. Now, John, nominative. John kicks the ball of me to James. John, the ball of me to James. Okay? Now, the third one, or the last one, vocative. You always use this in church, brothers and sisters. You are addressing them. You are addressing them. It's a direct address. In politics, they use it. Comrades, you want to address them. You call for their attention. In the Bible, it's everywhere. Jesus calls his disciples at some point, children, have you caught something? Remember when they were fishing the whole night, they couldn't catch anything? When he appears to them, he says, children, did you catch anything? John also in the letters, he addressed his disciples as my children. Okay? At some point, my friends, and so forth. So, the vocative case, direct address, the mode of address. And you will use this as a pastor in the church. You call for your church's attention, brothers and sisters, my brethren, then they come back to you. You call them, you want to address them. Now they listen to you. So, unless you know all these cases, it's going to be tough luck in knowing your Greek. You must know these cases and their endings and so forth, so that at least you can analyze Greek nouns correctly. Let's get to the forms of the second declension. This is what I've tried and do here. All of them are there. Last week you did some words like hurrah and doxa and what else? All the pure alpha and the pure eta nouns. Phone. Yes. Now today I want us to do, you can close your books. They are not so important. Close your books. Your croy. Yeah, just close it. We want to do all this, and this is what you must do in Greek 112. How do I decline a noun? A noun of the second declension. Remember phone, phones and all that, doxa, and how it decline. And now we have a noun, a masculine noun, logos. What does logos mean? You wrote your first test already? No. I must give you a test then. You must write a test this week. Yes, please. I'm sorry out there, also the facilitators, you must know, all the test must be written. I think you skipped the test. You should have written a test last week. Or this week, on Tuesday, yesterday. But then, the test covering all the work you have done so far. From alphabets, diphthongs, and everything, up until, lesson 1, 2A and 2B, only that. Lesson 1, 2A and 2B, study unit 2A and 2B. Okay, so please, by maybe Friday, we must get some time, just an hour to write the test. Okay, we will talk about it when we talk about the homework. Logos, what does it mean? The word, okay? That os ending tells you that those inflectional changes, the inflectional forms, logos there, it's telling you, I am a nominative. I'm playing my role in the sentence as a subject. You understand that? What about the vocative? It will remain logos. Okay? What about the accusative? Look at those endings. They're still there. The accusative, you would have logon. Okay? The endings are changing. And as they change, the noun tells you that I'm no longer nominative. I am now a direct object. It's the same word, a word. Okay? And then you have the genitive, logu. Look at that u ending. Of a word. Okay? And then the dative, logoi, logoi, with this iota subscriptum, to or for the word, of the word, just the word, the word, the word, but then nominative. Okay? Those are only in singular. Okay? And then going to the plural forms, how would logos look like? For or to, the word. Of, genitive. And then the word, but then it's a direct object. It's the word, but then it is a vocative. The word, but then it's a subject. Okay? Good. And then logoi. And then I'm waiting for that. Logus. Is it loge? Just check. Still logoi. In case of the word, sorry, the singular, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. This will be loge, but then this now will be logoi, words, sorry. Yeah. And then the genitive, loguon. Even the feminine nouns, they always have this on ending in the genitive plural, okay? And then ois. 2 and 4, the words, but then it's plural now. So this is how you decline the noun logos. And with adelphos, with theos, with any other noun, the changes will just look like that. This is what we call, what I've been talking about when I talk about the inflectional changes. As the word goes through all these cases, the changes, the suffix change, and then it also changes its function in the sentence. Okay? Any question? We are fine. Good. Let's see what is next. The second declension, neuter nouns. We have the word like teknon of ergon. There are so many other neuter nouns. They have that on ending. Now that it's something different. If you remember your logon, it has the on ending also. Okay? But that is not a neuter. You must know the dictionary forms. Logos is a masculine. But then that logon, it tells you that I am a direct object. But if it is a neuter noun, its dictionary form has an on ending. And it's not a direct object, it's nominative. So what is the big challenge now? Is to know your vocabulary. And to know that this noun, I know it belongs to, it's a neuter noun and this is a masculine noun. Okay? And what will be the vocative of teknon? Same. And then the accusative? What will be the accusative? Yes, still the same. And what will be the genitive? Is that so? Yes. And then the vocative, what is the dative? Tek. What are you realizing here? The logos and the teknon only differ in the nominative, vocative, and accusative. Because they belong to the same declension. It's the nouns of the second declension. They only differ here in gender. Okay? So the nominative, vocative, and accusative all look the same. But then the context will tell you, the meaning in the sentence will tell you whether I am a subject or vocative, subject or accusative. Okay? And then there you are. The nominative, you have tekna, children. Tekna. And then the vocative, also tekna. And then tekna. Again. It's the same. Okay? And then the genitive will always mimic the nominative, the masculine. It will always, you know what is to mimic? To copy someone's. Yeah, okay? And then take noise. 2 or 4, the children. So if I give you a noun like teknon in the test and say, decline it for me, this is what I'll be looking for, and it's 10 marks. Now you decline that. Look at all those inflectional changes. All those. They are telling you that now I am changing my, my function in the sentence. You wanted to ask?
I want to ask, when you put in a test, you say decline the second or the first one. You define the first or the second one.
What do you mean by first and second?
And what one is second declination?
Declension. I will just give you a noun and say decline it. You should know by now that this noun is a noun of the first declension or the noun of the second declension. That will be now a grade 1 stuff, or telling you it's a first declension, or that you should know by yourself. Okay? Good. Any question there? We're fine. Right. What is next? Definite article. This is just a repetition of what you had last week. If you have a Greek noun ho, it's a bad example. Ho, adelphos, and the word adelphos. What is the difference between those two?
The brother.
The first one is definite. We know the person we are talking about. The brother is definite. But the second one, without the definite article, is indefinite. A brother can be a certain brother, and we don't know much about him. Indefinite. Okay. So that's the difference. Remember, Greek does not have the indefinite. But then the moment or when the Greek word comes or appears without the definite article, then you give it the English indefinite. A or N.
The same applies when it is iota, then it's hair. When I get that, let me say it's hair. Iota. Then
What do I?
like the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, then I put iota there. Then I put the spiritus on top.
No.
Does it-
You only have 2 definite articles in Greek, and that's what I want to come to. You dealt with the feminine nouns, and now we are dealing with the masculine nouns and neuter nouns. We have 3 definite articles, according to the gender. According to what you did last week, I think lesson 5 is dedicated to this. We will talk about this. You have the definite article ho, which is masculine. Okay? You have the definite article he, which is feminine. And you have the definite article to, which is neuter. Okay? So if you want to write ho theos, we normally don't translate it as the God, it's just God, but we know the God we're talking about, that's why it's definite. Okay? Or he adelphe. He adelphe. The sister. To teknon. That is the child. But then we know it's neuter. Okay? So these are all the second declension, and then the first declension, and then second declension again. Okay? Are we fine? Good. The definite article, that is that. How do I pass a Greek noun? You have done this last week. I want you to tell me it is a noun. You must identify it. And then the three main characteristics of the Greek noun. Characteristics of the Greek noun, case, number, and gender. Whenever you analyze a Greek noun, you must first tell me it's a noun. Secondly, case, number, and gender. And then going forward, what do you have? You must tell me the dictionary form. Okay? And what do I mean by the dictionary form? Say, for instance, you have the word or the sentence ho theos Theos pempei adelphon. God sends a brother. Pempeo, pempus, to send. Okay? And I underline adelphon and say, adelphon, and say, pass it for me. You must tell me 7 things about that. It's a noun. And then you come now to case, number, and gender. What is the case? It's accusative. And then tell me the gender. It's masculine, okay? And then the case you said is accusative. Gender, masculine. Number, it's singular, okay? Then the dictionary form of which word? Of adelphos, okay? With that os ending. That's how it appears in a dictionary. We call it a lexical form. It's simple form. Because this one, it's not its simple form. It's only a form which we use in a sentence whereby adelphon or adelphos is telling you, I am functioning now as a direct object. But this is not how I look in the dictionary. You understand that? Yes. So that's what we have there. Okay? You must tell me the dictionary form and then its meaning. What does it mean? It means a brother. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, sorry. Its meaning, a brother, and then you must also explain. How do you explain it? You explain it according to the case. We said it's a noun, it's accusative. I'm talking about adelphon, and it's masculine, and it's singular. Of adelphos, meaning the brother. Explain. According to the case, your explanation would be, it's a direct object of the verb pay. That's what we mean by analyzing. Adelphon is a direct object of the verb pempei. If I underline ortheos, you will tell me it's a noun, nominative, gender, masculine, singular, of theos. Most of the time, the dictionary form or the simple form is just the nominative form. Okay? The meaning, God. Explain. Subject of the sentence. Yes. Going back to last week's class, pass pempei for me. Now we're talking about verb. It's not a noun anymore. And there are 8 things that you have to tell me about it. What is it? It's present. And look at, I said in Greek all the time, you look at the endings. You look at don't make that mistake. You look at the endings, okay? We will come to the level where you will also look at the prefix. But then this time we're still dealing with and look at that ending, A. If you know your lo uo, lu eis, lu ei, lu omen, lu ete, lu osin. So here you are dealing with a present indicative active third person singular of the word pempuo, meaning I sent. And then you explain it, the present indicative active, it denotes a simple action or a simple statement in the present. So we have analyzed that sentence, the whole of it. We know everything in and out of what is going on here. We analyze the also, we analyze the verb and also that other noun, but then nominative and accusative and so forth. Okay? Yes.
When we have a sentence like that, when it's in a question paper, maybe on the exam, we will underline the words that we have to memorize.
Yes. I will underline all the words that I want you to pass and analyze and so forth. And then at the end, I will also tell you, translate the sentence. Now you put everything into translation. Yeah. Okay? And maybe I can ask, give me the micro structure. You have done this? The microstructure of the sentence. You haven't done that. I will get into it. By microstructure, it's actually a representation of how words are related to each other in the sentence. How words are related to one another in the sentence. That's what we call microstructure. We will do this. I just want to show you how it is done. Ho theos, and then there you have your verb, pempei, and there you have, adelphon. There is your subject, and there is your direct object. That's how you do your microstructure. But we will talk about that. If you haven't done it, I will introduce it to you. Double arrows shows your direct object. And that kind of designation tells you this is the subject. And then you just underline the verb. It's a thought flow. As you read the sentence, how is the thought flowing? How is the argument flowing? The argument starts there. The subject performs an action, and then the direct object. Okay? Any question? So I can actually come to the exam with just 2 sentences and ask all these sorts of questions. Yes. So the exam need not have 100 questions. Just 2 sentences. Or let's open John 3 verse 16. That whole verse. Then I can ask whatever I like there. Underline nouns and verbs, and you have to do the microstructure for me and all that. And eventually translate the sentence for me. Okay. Right. Sorry for this repetition. Oh, we're done. But that's my favorite part of the class. That's my favorite part of the class. Practice and review, page 18, page 19 and page 20 and 21, sorry. Whatever I say wrong today, it's not me, it's jet lag. Okay? So, go there in that practice and review, pass all the nouns and main verbs. Then translate the sentence. Which sentences am I talking about? Practice and review. Sentence 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, and 11. Mark them. New Testament sentences 5, 2, 5, 7, and 8. LXX, sentence 2. Then you bring that to me tomorrow in the class. We meet tomorrow, right? Yes. Then we go and do that exercise together tomorrow in the class. But please come prepared. And it's not being harsh. It's just the name of the game. That's how I work. Please, if you are not prepared, don't enter my class. That's how I work. Sorry. That's how we work. Just like the pulpit at church, you won't just climb there unprepared. Sorry, pastors, doesn't work that way. If you want to be a pastor, you just have to come to church prepared. You cannot tell the church, let's come to the Bible study, and you go empty-handed. You must be prepared. You're going there to learn. So please, God is preparing us starting from now, here in this class, in these 6 years or whatever, you come prepared to the class. So please, do those sentences.
Where is 11?
There's no 11. Sorry, take it out. I'm sorry then. There's no 11. Okay. Yeah, that should be then what you're supposed to do. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, and then 2, 5, 7, 8. Try your best. When you come to the class prepared, pick up all those problems and mistakes and whatever you don't understand. I love misunderstandings, because after misunderstandings, then we understand. So is disorder. After disorder, then we have order. Okay? So I love those struggles and misunderstandings. Bring them to the class, then we learn best. But if you come to the class unprepared, then you won't know anything. You go out of the class the same way as you came in. We're not going anywhere. So please, don't do that. It's not good, and more especially for pastors. Then you begin to speak your stories there. Hey, I was in America. We don't want to hear about America. We want to hear the word of God. Okay? Hey, I did this and that. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear God speaking. The better you're prepared, then God uses us in a much better way. You have time with the Holy Spirit. You have time with God. You prepare. You pray for your sermon. You pray for whatever you're going to do. That makes you a good pastor. Preparation. It starts in the class. So please don't make that mistake. It's suicidal. It's academic suicide. Ne? Coming to class unprepared. It's never good. It's not good. So we meet tomorrow. Do that exercise, and all our brothers and sisters out there, your facilitators will help you. If there's any problem, please talk to them and they will address that to me. We will sort out the problem together. Let's do these exercises this week. And as for the test, you must write the test this week or early next week. That will be the first test. And I will send the test also to the facilitators. Please show, because I don't know all the facilitators out there, but then please, if I need to send that test to you, alert me please, so that I can send the test to you this week. We need to write the test this week. And if there's no question, I will give this opportunity maybe a minute or so, then we can ask questions. Out there, Mafikeng, White River, whoever you're there, please, if there's any other question, this is your time to address it to me. I see the hand raised. Just open your mic Internet 5, and then just speak to me.
Morning, Prof. Willie speaking. Just a quick question on the test. If I don't have a facilitator, is there a possibility I can come to coach and write the test with you?
Tell me, are you doing Greek telematic or full-time?
Telematic.
Yes, you don't have to write the test, but look at the study guide. There are assignments which you have to submit as a telematic student.
All right, I'll have a look at that. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please. And if you have any problem, please address that to me through my email. We will talk.
Will do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Another hand raised. White River, are you fine? And Mafikeng, are you okay? The test is only for full-time students, and then the telematic students have to follow a course, and the assignments which they have to submit, it's all clear in the study guide. If there is no question, till we meet again, thank you. Hi, Johan. Yeah, that's, you say?
We saw you on the screen.
You saw me on the screen?
Yeah.
Where? Is it?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Fine, thank you. How was your trip?
It was good, but I'm still tired.
You're not here yet.
I'm not here yet, I'm still in the air. Hey. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Voor 10 minuten. 10 en 11.
10 per jaar.
Ja.
Okay.
Dus ik wil even mijn laptop van halen.
Johan, enjoy it. I'm going to sleep. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. How are you? What are you doing? 113 or which class did you do? Yeah. Greek 113.
We just know about it.
Oh, you were there. Were you there?
We were all there.
Is it? All right. Thank you. And we'll meet tomorrow. No?
Yes.
Yeah, in the same class, and then we agree on the test.
Today,
Yeah.
10:09.
Yeah.
Hoor, het is maar niet wat ze vir die moet nie uittrek nie. Dit is maar nie USB vir die keyboard.
Cluster of 5.
5 is reg.
Playing intelligence. Should be.
Dit zijn nie smart. Ek het ons nou
Sorry, ja.
dit is nie reg.
Niks genoeg.
Oké.
Hier, meneer, het komt er net zo.